Welcome to our work experience webinar, hosted by the Al-Qasimi Foundation. We have today Faris Al-Qasimi and Mayfa Al-Janiji join us today. We'll save all our questions and answers to the end of the webinar, but meanwhile, you can put it into the chat box ready for when we read them out. First, let me introduce myself. My name's John Kennedy, and my partner today is Aisha Arsiavi. We have two students with us today that's completed the work placement, and we will talk to them a bit later on, but I just want to give you a bit of a history of the work placement program. The work placement program started December of last year. Since then, we've hosted 4 sessions with students in various companies across the UAE. The students can apply for an application and they complete a career assessment. The career assessment that they do will turn around, highlight the career paths that they aspire to, and that's what we use to place them in their work placement so they get a good work experience. Students from grade 11 up to the 2nd year in a university can apply. The student placement in the work placement generally lasts between 5 and 14 days. I would like to now pass you on to Aisha.
Yeah,
Thank you,
John, for the introduction. Today, our guests are Mayfa Al-Janiji and Faris Al-Jasmi. Mayfa, she went to the International Museum for Ras Al Khaimah, and Faris was in Julfar Pharmacy. So we will start with Mayfa to give us a brief of her experience in the field.
Hello everyone, this is Mayfa Al-Janiji. I'm a current student at Khalifa University. During my time in AQF, I had the opportunity to work at National Museum of Ras Al Khaimah, and I got to learn more about the museum and the different sections, as well as get to know other people and get familiar with the work environment.
Thank you, Mayfa, for the biography. What about you, Faris? Faris, you're muted. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Faris Al-Jasmi. I'm a grade 12 advanced postgraduate. I aim to advance my career in pharmaceutics, especially cosmetic chemistry. And as a result, a part of my academic journey was participating in the work experience program provided by the Al-Qasimi Foundation. I was placed into Julfar Pharmaceuticals Industries and Raqqa Medical and Healthcare University. And I'm looking forward to answering your questions and providing details about the experience.
Thank you, Faris. So what we'll do now is we'll have a discussion and ask some questions for the two students. I'd like to start with Mayfa. As a starting question, why did you decide to participate in the work placement program?
So when I first heard about the program, I thought that I was going to try something new, and I'm a person who likes trying new things. So I wanted to experience how it's like to have a job, to be committed to something, wake up every morning, go to the job, and get to know other people as well. I wanted to get familiar with the work environment, to know what is expected from me and what I expect from that work environment. I also wanted to meet others and learn from their experiences.
Oh, thank you, Mayfa. That's great. What about for yourself, Faris?
So for me, I decided to join the work experience mainly because I wanted to gain a bit of detail and information on what I'm going to study in university, which is pharmaceuticals. So I decided to gain experience to confirm whether or not that field is right for me. And throughout the program, I discovered that it was, because we've done production, management, and a lot of other things in the program. I also wanted to see how each person works together in the workplace, because usually in high schools, they don't teach us about teamwork. So I wanted to experience that firsthand and prepare myself for the outside world other than school.
Yeah, that's interesting for us. Thank you for your experience, but students usually complete a career assessment prior to the work experience. How useful do you think this was?
For the survey that we completed, I thought it was really useful because it gave us an insight on the things that we like and our interests. And after doing the survey, I actually compared the questions and my answers to the results. And I thought they were pretty useful because I'm a person who likes adventure. I like exploration. I like guiding people and maybe being a leader. For example, in sectors like tourism, I would take people around and teach them about my culture and learn about their culture. So when I got my results, I found out that I was put in the museum because I like tourism, because I liked adventure. And the museum is where you learn about cultures. You even learn about other cultures rather than only the UAE culture, because you get to meet tourists from different countries and explain to them your culture and see the differences between all the cultures. So that's why.
Thank you, Mita. That's interesting. What about you, Faris?
So my situation was the same as Maita's. When I first filled my application for the program, I mentioned that my career interest was nursing, more specifically pediatrics and mental health. And I was planning to, work in the medical field with other physicians. And based on that given information, I believe the Al Qasimi Foundation placed me in the Iraq Medical and Health Sciences University as well as Jilfa, which matched my career goals and interests.
That's fantastic. That's great to hear. Based on what you were just both saying, Mayfa, so how did you prepare for your work placement?
So I had to do some research on the place that I've been placed in, the museum. And I had to know a little bit about its history and some facts that would help me through my first day at least, and through giving the tourists some information. So I had to research, and I also had to research about what I'm expected or how I'm expected to dress, how I am supposed to act, or the skills that I need. So I also prepared like my outfit and something that was appropriate to wear there. And so like I researched everything so that I would have a background before going there in the first day.
That's great to hear. I'm sure you had a lot of preparation there. What about for yourself, Faris?
So mine was mainly researching about the employer, and that was extremely helpful. It gave me some background information about the employer, the workplace, and the staff that I would possibly meet there and on the website. I did my research on both Iraq MHSU and Jilfar Pharmaceutics, and that made me feel prepared and equipped with information that would familiarize myself with the employer. So I would be in an environment where, okay, I know where I am, I know a little bit about this company and what I'm facing. I also made sure to follow the general instructions provided by Jilfar, as they asked us to bring an extra set of masks, gloves, and a lab coat, so that I was well equipped to safely access the departments and facilities there. And another one was actually adjusting my sleep schedule, because I'm a person who stays up late. So I had to prepare for that a couple of nights before the work experience.
That's fantastic, Faris. Thank you. Since this like the first work experience you had, what were you nervous about?
So the experience was very new to me, especially that it was a museum, and I don't really go to museums a lot. So I was really nervous at the beginning because I was about to meet new people. I was about to interact with people from different countries and different cultures. I was also really worried about my sleeping schedules, just how Faris mentioned. Like I had to set an alarm so that I would be punctual throughout the days that I have the work experience in. Also, one more thing about the museum, I had to deal with artifacts and antiquities. So I had to be very careful, and especially with like moving the artifact from a place to another. And I had to also put them on record so that the person who handles it after me would know where I put it. And yeah, the work was very precise and I had to be very careful with it.
That's great. How did you overcome this, or what made it easier to overcome your nervous stress?
I had a lot of people beside me helping me all the time, giving me guidance and instructions. So they first familiarized me with the task and things that I have to do for that task. They would show me an example of how to do the task, and then I would perform the task. So I felt more confident after their help and guidance.
Yeah, thank you, Meetha. What about you, Faris?
So for me, I was mostly nervous about being exposed in a new academic environment and adapting to it. I found it because at the university, I found it really difficult to observe my surrounding and have a sense of direction because the university was big and I was constantly meeting new staff members, having conversations. And while doing that, I had to take in information and write down all my notes and stay concentrated at the same time. So it was a bit overwhelming. During my first day in Jilfa, in the IT department especially, there was too much information given to us students, which caused some confusion and information. This happened especially during the part where they would explain how the department would remotely fix any issues or etc. But I did ask questions whenever needed, and I did further research on the machinery later on to address that.
Hi, Faris. You were breaking up a little bit then. Hopefully we're clear before the next question. Thank you so much for both of you sharing them. You both happened to mention before you had a lot of preparation and research prior to you starting your work placement. So taking on all that knowledge, when you went to your placement, Mayfair, what surprised you the most?
So the amount of precision and carefulness, as I would say, in every task, I had to be very careful, very precise. I didn't expect it at the very beginning because I didn't really think that I was required to be responsible for the artifacts. But then when I got to know the team, they gave me the instructions, and it surprised me how long and how specific the instructions were. And also the time where I was working, I expected it to be like short hours, but like I saw myself working constantly without a break, which is something I'd have to prepare myself for in the future.
When you said you're working long hours and we went without a break, was that partly nerves that you didn't ask that you needed a break, or did you find that you were struggling with the workflow because there was so much detail for you to do? So did you learn from that experience as the week went on?
Yeah, I did. It wasn't that I didn't have a break, but I didn't have a break as often as I wanted to have it. Because in school, I would have 2 breaks. I would have breaks between lessons, but then when I go to work experience, I'm committed to specific tasks that I have to complete in that day. I have to make sure I finish them before I have my own time. So this helped me in my time management because later on I realized that there are priorities that I have to be committed to before giving myself a break. And I guess that would also help me in my future career.
Well, based on your comments there, you were building on some of your life skills that you can take onto your future careers. And some of them you probably appreciate you had already, but you didn't realize how important they were. And there was some new life skills, like you're saying, timekeeping and working with other people and communicating. It sounds like you turned around and experienced. I shall ask you another question where we're trying to get Faris reconnected.
Yeah. What were some of the challenges you faced in the working environment?
As I've mentioned before, I think it's the precision in the tasks because I remember I had to go to a storage room and check all the artifacts and report if there are any issues. And then the person who was helping me with it noticed that the artifact had some fungi on it, and I never noticed because I'm not used to this precision. I had to like look into the artifact and search for the issues or the things that have to be restored or fixed in the artifact. So it's just being very observant, being very very precise with all my work. That was challenging and something new for me.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's good to learn new things, right?
So with that bear in mind, we were just talking about the life skills, and we all have our own personal life skills that we've grown up with and developed. So what life skills did you feel that you already have help you when you arrived at the work placement? What life skills you personally already had that you enhanced?
I think it's the communication skills and teamwork, because I came from an international school, so that helped me because I used to communicate a lot with people from different countries, different backgrounds. So those skills really helped me when interacting with tourists or even the people who work there. And teamwork, because in school we did a lot of teamwork, tasks that required teamwork. So when I went to the work placement, I was able to work with others very smoothly, and we would have like delegated tasks for each one of us, and we were able to finish them on time.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. I think Faris is back.
I think Faris is just returning with us. Hi Faris, welcome back.
I disconnected. Sorry for the
And there's no problem, technical, don't worry. This is working under pressure. So I'll just follow on what I've just asked Mayfa with yourself. What life skills did you already have that you feel that helped you going into your work placement? And what life skills do you feel that you were lacking that made you realize why you're working in that work placement?
So the life skills that I already processed and that helped me a lot is time management. Helped me to know when and where I should be next, and how I'm gonna organize my schedule, how I'm gonna plan my time, where should I go next, where should I be. And it also gave me a sense of responsibility and that I should stick to what I have to do and self-discipline. But in terms of what skills I was lacking, it's probably communication skills. Like I did realize that I want to develop my communication and interpersonal skills furthermore, to communicate and work with groups and individuals in my own professional life. And as well as building good relationships and working efficiently with others, and kind of just understanding how I should connect with people, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Fantastic. What you both said about communication skills, that it was enhanced in the work placement. And so for people that wants to do the work placement in the future, do you feel that the communication and working in these work placements helps them build confidence in communicating to different people of different nationalities and under pressure in the work? So do you believe the work placement helped you with that, Faris?
Yeah, of course, because prior to the work experience, like the thing about the experience, like the placement itself was, I was exposed to so many different people of all ages, cultural backgrounds, ethnicities. Like it was just a lot to take in at first. But like over time, second day, third day, fourth day, you kind of get used to it. But like you said, between yourself, you have to work on it to gain your confidence and not appear as self-conscious, especially in a professional environment where you have to act and talk a certain way.
Do you agree with that, Mayfa?
Yeah, I definitely agree. You interact with different people, maybe people you never really interacted with before, or people from nationalities that you've never even talked to before. So it's pretty interesting how you get to learn about other people and their backgrounds while doing the work placement. So you don't only gain the skills, but you also gain more information about different backgrounds and cultures that will help you in the future, because in careers you would find people from all over the world.
That's excellent, Mayfa. And you both emphasized about the communication, and you've said about talking to different cultures. But based on what you've experienced, have you changed how you will communicate in the future to other people, whether it's in work or school or university? Has it changed how you approach people? Has it built you the confidence to open the conversation, or do you still wait to be just part of the conversation? Mayfa.
I had to speak with like more professionalism. I had to be more professional with the people working there, especially the managers or the people who are at a higher place on the organizational structure. I had to respect their time. If like they're busy, I can't just go and ask them a question. I had to wait until they finish their meeting. Other than that, I believe like the people who worked with me in the team were very friendly. We also we had side conversations, not necessarily about the work placement, but their experiences in life. So you'd have both, being professional and then being friendly with others.
Thank you, Mayfa. Do you want to add anything to that there, Faris?
So is it gonna help build up my confidence? Yes. But is it gonna change the way I speak to people? Not really, because in Julfar, everybody was, they were still professional, of course, but they were much more friendlier than you would imagine. Like as Maitha said, we would have side conversations, not necessarily about work. We would chat a lot. We would, like, of course, when we had to discuss professional matters such as production of medicine, packaging, marketing, like, yeah, we spoke in a certain professional matter, but like apart from that, we would just chat normally as if there's nothing like in between, if that makes sense.
Perfect. Thank you, Faris.
Yeah, thank you, Faris. Since both of you were talking about chatting something outside of the work, what the one thing you will never forget about this experience?
Learning from their experiences and learning from the process that they had to go through before getting that job, because I want to hear from others about their experience, because this helps me expect what it helps me expect what I'm waiting for in the future. For example, it's not that easy to get a job, but it's sometimes sometimes you just get the job at the first opportunity. So it would help me in like being patient whenever I apply for a job and not giving up easily. So by hearing from others, I heard that some of them didn't really get a job from the very beginning after they graduated, and some others got the job straight after. So that helped me like visualize what I will be going through in the future.
That's interesting. Yeah, you made a point. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we get a job like immediately, and sometimes we're not. But doesn't mean that it's our fault or whatever. Like we don't have the enough skills, right? What about you, Faris?
So for me, I definitely won't forget the information that I learned and the places that I've been to. Like learning all about pharmacology, research, production, packaging, distribution. It was fascinating to see how much goes into manufacturing a medicine or drug, especially at Julfar 10. We got to see how, like the steps and the whole process. You have to distribute the drugs, you have to produce it, you have to dispose it to retail, you have a whole marketing aspect and finance to it. Like it's just so fascinating to see how much work goes behind the scenes. Like not a lot of people realize how much time and effort and money it takes to produce like a simple pill or like a body gel, for example. And I definitely, and the process as well as of making different dosage forms and disposing to healthcare. And one more thing is the people that I met, because the way I see it is those people have past experiences that are given it to us in a way by talking to them. Know what they had to go through to be here today, what they had to learn in their academic journey, how they advance their career and all of that. It was just really like eye-opening in a sense of or way. Yeah.
Thank you, Faris. That's great. If you both had the opportunity to do a work experience again, Mayfa, what would you focus more on the next time you did it?
When I went to the museum, I realized that that job wasn't for me, or doing a lot of paperwork wasn't for me. So next time, if I ever had the opportunity to try and go to another work placement, I would make sure the job or the place has a lot of practical work rather than paperwork, or rather than duties. I want to be out there and then discover new things by myself, or for example, dig the artifacts instead of transporting them from a place to another. I would like to do the work myself, the practical work. So, or something to do with space exploration. For example, working at a space agency, I would really love to try that out because I'm really interested in space and I really have the passion for this field. So, yeah.
Thank you. And what about for yourself, Faris?
Yeah, of course. Next time, I want to focus more on working in other environments that are different from my own career interest, like something that's not related to medicine or pharmacy, because this is going to widen my range of skills that I otherwise may not gain or utilize in my profession. And this is also going to allow me to connect to different experiences to my own interest. Like, let's say I get to work in a business section or another tourism, for example, and just see how other fields operate and work differently from medicine. That's going to be really interesting and fascinating.
That's fantastic. To follow on from both of your answers, we did an orientation prior to when you went to the work placement, and you said before you both researched the companies you were going to, and obviously you've now held the work placement. So when you do leave university and you go to apply for jobs, do you think this experience will help you going forward with the interviews and the preparation?
Definitely. Definitely, because before we went, like prior to our work experience, we had a workshop at Al Qasimi Foundation that gave us the basics of what to expect. So I was given an instruction list with the general instruction for any work environment. So I am lucky that I was familiarized with this at this age, because later I would have gained the knowledge already for what to expect, and to have experienced working, it would really help me expect what kind of job or place I'm going to work at, and prepare for interviews accordingly. For example, search about the place that I've applied to, maybe see the possible questions and the answers, and see how my research connects to those questions and prepare for them.
That's great points. What about for yourself, Faris? Would that help you in the interview stages? Do you think looking for jobs?
So the workshop was definitely like an important part in this placement and in my future work life as well, because we were introduced to the program. Like, we had a whole presentation going on about its benefits and such. And we also were prepared for any interviews, not just in our future work, but for this experience as well. Like, we trained on our interviews with other students. Like, we discussed potential career placements and so much more. And we even got to ask questions that would typically be mentioned in interviews, such as, what's your weakness? How are you gonna organize your time, and much more other information like this. All these resources are, you can't find them easily. So I definitely appreciate the workshop. It's gonna help me a lot in the future.
Thank you, Faris. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Faris. Do you recommend to our students to complete the placements And why do you think that? Maitha?
I do recommend it because it's going to widen your choices. It's going to show you what you like and what you dislike in a career. It would show you the things that you should avoid whenever you are exposed to choices and you'll have to choose between them for a career. It helps you to be punctual. It helps you with everything, including the skills you need for school. So not only the skills that you would need in the work placement. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it because you would gain more than you would lose. You would lose nothing, but you would gain skills, you would gain experience, you would gain everything you would want to gain.
Yeah, that's true. What about you, Faris?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, other than the many benefits that Mesa just talked about, the most crucial point is that this work experience placement or any other similar programs, to be honest, are extremely difficult to find and secure replacement, especially in Ras Al Khaimah. There aren't any other similar opportunities. So you would lose out on a lot if you skip this opportunity, especially right now in the period of like due to COVID-19. You would rarely, actually, you wouldn't, like when I researched the similar programs, I didn't find any. This was the only program that seemed like relevant and up to date. So I would definitely recommend because they're not gonna find any other in Ras Al Khaimah.
Thank you so much, Faris. All the points that you've mentioned, both of you, during this so far, this webinar has been fantastic. So what we're going to do now is give an opportunity to answer some questions that some people might have posted.
Yeah, just give me a sec. We have a question here. What do you suggest to make this experience better?
I would suggest maybe looking into our major choices. For example, I chose, at that time, I wanted aerospace engineering and I'm still studying aerospace engineering. So maybe something related to my major rather than my hobbies or interests, because it's going to prepare me not only for my career, but also my life at university and what to expect from the major itself. So yeah, if it's related more to the major, it would have been better.
Yeah, thank you, Maitha. What about you, Faris?
Okay, so for me, one thing that I do want to improve on was when when this experience is introduced to students, that just make sure to let them know that, like, if this place, for example, the University of Jalfar, if it's supposed to be a workplace and not a training center, let them know that, because they might make it seem like everyone is discouraged to occupy them, when in reality, everyone is just busy with their work. So let them, encourage them actually to ask questions, walk around the departments, and just push themselves into the workplace, because if you don't, nobody's really gonna like be actively engaged with you. Like, you have to find someone who is gonna walk you through the steps, talk to you, give you a bunch of details, and so much more.
Thank you so much for that, Faris. Do you have any tips or advice for any students as they're thinking of applying and attending a work placement, Maitha?
Advice is be prepared. Make sure you are there on time, because this sets a good image for yourself and a good reputation that you are punctual, you are here for the work, you are committed, and always do your research before going there, because it also adds to your reputation, to your image in front of the people working there, in front of the managers, that you are really passionate to do this thing, and you're not here just to finish the work experience and just get it.
Thank you, Maitha. Faris, do you have any tips?
Yeah, so the tip that I would give to new students is to not stress about it. This is a new experience. It might seem overwhelming at first, but students should be confident in their abilities. make sure you get the most out of this placement. Like present yourself to your employer, like this is who I am, this is who I offer, and this is why I'm a good candidate for future and any placement. So take notes, ask questions, and don't be afraid to make any minor mistakes. You have to learn from them because this placement, it's gonna prepare you for your future workplace. So it's kind of like a simulation, you know what I mean? So just if you make any mistakes, learn from them and try to not repeat them again. And just relax, like don't stress about it, really. It's not that big of a deal.
Thank you, Faris.
Thank you. But there is a question here. How difficult or awkward was it to work with peers that are older than you?
To be honest, it was kind of new to me because I remember at the very beginning when I entered the place, everyone was just older than me, and I didn't know how to communicate properly to them because I have been exposed to those type of situations, but not as often as being just talking to my friends. So I didn't know how to get to know them because I didn't want to like go like I didn't want to. I wanted to have like some I wanted them to have some privacy, and at the same time, I still wanted to know about their experience. But they were friendly enough to like tell me more about themselves and their experiences.
That's nice, Meta. What about you, Faris?
For me, at first, before going to the work experience, I thought everybody's going to be an adult, they're all professional, I am not prepared, I don't know how to communicate. But when you get there, the tension is just going to get up. Like you might think that I may be awkward or, you know, hard to communicate with them, but they're going to understand because you're a student, you haven't worked a day in your life, and they're gonna try to make this easier for you because they're aware that you don't have any experience. They're not going to make it any difficult.
Yeah.
Thank you, Faris. We've got another question here. Mayfa, were you shocked at the tiredness at the end of your week or at the end of your day? Was the energy levels a high demand for you during your work placement?
I was actually tired. Like by the end of the day, I just didn't want to do anything because I had to listen to instructions all day, and I had to do tasks all day. But I did have like the last 2 hours of the day at work, maybe just talking to the people, my peers in the team, and we were just having conversations. But apart from that, I was tired at the end of the day, but not to the level that, oh, it's actually like real work or it's a real job that I'm doing.
Thank you. And for you, Faris?
What was the question again?
How was your energy levels during the work placement, and did you manage to keep them up?
Okay, so for me personally, like just being physically active was a bit of a struggle because I'm not, and when this pandemic started, I don't think any of us was an active person who walks a lot. So in Jolfar, we would have to walk from a section to section from packaging to production, explore the machinery, the warehouse, and it was just in the biotech department in Jolfar 9 as well. Even in the university, like we would walk from a department such as pharmacy to like another facility, like the library. It was a bit tiring because, as I said, I was never this active. But it is the first day, and when you're gonna get used to it. But just make sure that you wear shoes that are comfortable for long periods of time.
Thank you, Faris.
Yeah. How did this experience change your view of your future work?
So it made me make a choice or a decision that whatever career I'm applying to, I don't want a lot of paperwork. I mean, I can manage with a little bit of paperwork, but I don't want my job to be just completely paperwork. I thought the museum would be more of like practical work, would have like trips to areas where we could find different artifacts and things like that. So I thought this part was the best out of the whole experience, and making this equivalent to my future career, I would want a career where I would go out there, and as I said, that I would want to do the work myself. I would want to explore things myself.
Thank you, Mita. What about you, Faris?
So for me personally, it drastically changed my career direction. So originally, I was gonna pursue a career in nursing because I already applied for several nursing courses abroad. But after completing the student tour and my first work experience in the Prague Health Science University, I shifted to pharmaceutics and cosmetic chemistry after talking to the deans, going in the laboratories, discussing with them the career, like the future careers, and it shifted my focus, and it made me realize that nursing wasn't for me and pharmaceuticals is. So definitely, if you plan on going, ask questions a lot to see if this career is right for you.
Thank you so much, Faris. We have one last question. And can you imagine how hard it must be to manage a work environment? And can you see yourself managing a work environment in the future? Ava?
I'm a person who likes to lead a team, so I would kind of see myself pursuing a career where I am responsible for a team. For example, maybe like a space mission, and I am the leader for the space mission. So it is kind of difficult to manage a team, but I enjoy this thing, and especially when it comes to something that I'm passionate about, and that is space. So yes, I would see myself being a leader over a team for a mission or in a workplace, in a work environment.
Thank you so much, Mayfa. And for yourself, Faris?
So, it was about managing a workplace, right?
Yeah. Yes. Would you be able to see yourself in the future doing that?
For me, not at all. I would never see myself managing a workplace or even leading it. And that's precisely why I chose pharmaceutics, because I would just be in a lab, minding my own business, producing drugs. That's it, not like leading a workplace. And I think it's because of my introverted personality, to be honest. Like, I just don't enjoy um, working in a team with other people. I enjoy doing the work myself, just leading my own work, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you so much, Faris.
Thank you, Faris. Thank you, Mita, for joining us today. And I think we came to the end of the session today. It was a good webinar. If you enjoyed our event, please don't forget to follow us on Instagram, study@AQF. And if you were unable to attend our past talks, workshops, or webinars, we invite you to visit our YouTube channel, Ghasmi Foundation. And for more information about the webinars, workshop, other events, please contact scholarships@alghasmifoundation.rac.ae. All right.
Thank you so much for your time,
Yes.
both of you and all our guests. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.